Would your siblings trade you for a bag of hot fries? Don't be discouraged. These are the 10 funniest things players got traded for. Number 10. Preseason games. I know this makes absolutely no sense, but apparently this roots from the Utah Jazz being extremely broke in the early 1980s. Struggling to sell tickets, the Utah Jazz traded center Fred Roberts to the Boston Celtics for a third-round draft pick and the right to host the Celtics in 2 preseason games. The Jazz knew that if the defending champs came into town, they could finally sell some tickets and make some money. Number 9. A fax machine. In 2003, the Nets drafted Kyle Korver and immediately traded him to the 76ers for $125,000. The Nets then used that money on summer league expenses, a copier, and a fax machine. Kyle Korver went on to become one of the best shooters of all time. Number 8. A fence. In the 1920s, there was a minor league team that was playing without an outfield fence. Because of this, they had trouble charging admission, because people could simply walk in whenever they wanted. Their bright idea: trade future Hall of Famer Lefty Grove to the Orioles in exchange for $3,000, which they then used to build an outfield fence. Number 7. A used bus. In 1983, a minor league hockey team's bus broke down in the middle of the season, leaving players stranded. In response, the Seattle Breakers traded future NHL player Tom Martin to the Victoria Cougars in exchange for their spare bus. For the rest of his career, Tom Martin was called Bussy Martin. Number 6. $1. In 1989, the Winnipeg Jets drafted Chris Stapper. In 1993, they decided that he was too small and too bad at offense to succeed in the NHL. In an attempt to get some money off their books, they traded the future Stanley Cup champion to the Detroit Red Wings in exchange for $1. Dapper then went on to win 3 Stanley Cups with the Red Wings as their starting defenseman. Number 5. A steak. In 1994, 42-year-old Dave Winfield was traded from the Twins to the Indians for a player to be named later. The MLB players then went on strike, thereby ending the 1994 baseball season before the playoffs even started. The Twins then informed the Indians that if they paid for a steak dinner for their employees, they'd call the deal even. The Indians happily agreed to this, and the future Hall of Famer Dave Winfield retired a season later. Number 4. 2 barrels of oysters. In 1921, a minor league baseball team by the name of the Dallas Giants were short on cash. In response, they decided to dump a contract by trading future MLB player Joe Martina to the then New Orleans Pelicans in exchange for 2 barrels of oysters. For the remainder of Joe Martina's career, he would go by the nickname of Oyster Joe. Number 3. Catfish. In 1998, a minor league baseball team by the name of the Pacific Suns were planning a special pre-game barbecue and needed catfish for the event. Instead of just buying catfish like a regular team, they decided to trade Ken Crawhenbull to the Greenville Bluesmen for a player to be named later, a small amount of cash, and 10 pounds of catfish. The funniest part about it is they purposely sought a trade with the team in Mississippi because Mississippi is catfish territory. Number 2. A turkey. In 1930, a minor league baseball team by the name of the Chattanooga Lookouts traded former MLB player Johnny Jones to the then Charlotte Hornets in exchange for a 25-pound turkey. When the owner was asked his reason for doing this, he responded by saying, "Mr. Jones poked me in the eye." But no, all jokes aside, when asked why he did this, the owner said, because the turkey was having a better year than Johnny Jones. Number 1. A man was traded for himself. I know, this makes absolutely no sense. But in baseball, teams apparently like to trade players for a player to be named later. Well, this is exactly what happened in 1962 when the New York Mets traded Harry Chiti to the then Cleveland Indians in exchange for cash and a player to be named later. Here's the kicker. Apparently, Harry Chiti played so bad for the Indians that they used him as the player to be named later, sending him back to the Mets. That was his last season. This is ASED. Like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day.